is Ed Dollister.
Hello, everybody. It's Mitch Halleck.
And welcome to the second episode of Mitch and Ed's Excellent Adventure. Thank you so much for joining us. Last episode, thank you for subscribing. Thank you for all the fantastic people who liked us on Facebook after I shoddily put together a Facebook page. This is our second episode, and thank you for coming back.
Yeah, it's great to have people there. I was surprised how well it went off last week. I mean, we actually got off the ground.
We did. We did.
Not that I didn't have confidence in your abilities, Ed, but
well, the feeling's mutual. But it all worked out all right, which is really
it did. It actually looked good. It was in color and there was sound.
That's right. In stereo as well. It's pretty good.
Was it in stereo?
I think so, yeah.
I was gonna watch it on my big 54-inch TV upstairs, but my wife goes, seriously? I go, I mean, if you were in a movie, you'd watch yourself, right?
Oh, constantly, of course.
Aren't you in a couple movies?
I have been in. I was replaced actually by
in the snuff movies.
No. This is a family friend. I was in a I was in a movie where my character got replaced by Danny Glover.
Seriously?
Yeah, I was.
Wait. Is there another Danny Glover, or is it the actor?
No, Danny Glover, Lethal Weapon.
Lethal Weapon. Yeah.
Sort of.
Oh no, I never knew this.
I did a short film where I played this character, and it ended up being like a movie version, and I got replaced by Danny Glover. So,
okay. So you were in the student film, not
not the student, like the
pilot,
what have you? Yeah,
the working film.
Yes, but I did end up getting in. I came back in like a short film that was sort of like one of those Marvel one shots of that movie, and I came back as a hologram, and I got to interact with Danny Glover, which was kind of cool. So,
did Danny Glover know he was talking to you?
No, I was a tennis ball on a stick.
What was the name of this movie?
The Ninja.
The Ninja.
I think it was The Ninja Immovable Heart.
Removable heart?
Immovable.
Oh, immovable. Oh, yeah. Okay. Is this like direct to video or where
it was shown here in some cinemas in Australia, but it was pretty much more like a direct to video.
Is it streaming now? Is it on cable? Can we see this?
I don't know. I'll see it. Look, you know what I'll do is I'll put up a shot.
Seriously, this is something I've known you for 13 years, and this is the first I've heard about this.
I will put up a shot of the Ninja DVD, and I'll see if I can find a picture of myself as the hologram, which pretty much looks like me, like this.
Well, that's cool. See, people, second episode in, you found out that Ed's in a movie with Danny Glover.
That's right. Kind of, sort of. It's me, him, and that's right. It was like Lethal Weapon 12. It was pretty exciting. But what we are talking about today is we're going to be talking about collectibles and our favorite collectibles. So we brought in, look, we're surrounded by collectibles at the moment. I was going to say,
which one do you want to start with? How long is this show?
I know. This is part one in our 500-part series of
never ends
of looking at collectibles. But we brought in how many favorite collectibles did you bring in?
Oh, I only brought 3 today, Teach.
Okay.
I
brought in 3.
I have more though. I have more.
Yeah.
Yes. You have more than 3.
Well, I brought in 3, and I showed Kelly, my wife, and she goes, yes. This is TV. You've got to bring something a little bit more with more pizzazz. So I've got 3.5. So.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
If that's okay.
I always have extra. Oh, by the way, real quick about last week's show. I know we just started. But for those folks counting at home and our subscribers, all 20-something or more, I don't know. I haven't checked the numbers today. But, Ed, is it time for me to eat the Batman 89 cereal? Did we get 1,000 subscribers yet, Ed?
Not yet. We're a little way off 1,000 subscribers yet. But if you do like the show, please hit the subscribe button below. And there is somewhere. I'm just randomly pointing that way. And Mitch will eat his cereal.
I will eat this cereal.
Yes.
I will open this up and eat this Batman 1989 made by Ralston. They also used to make dog food. I don't even think they're in business anymore because of the incident with kids eating Batman cereal. But I will open it up. I will take the bank out that has Michael Keaton on it. It's been shrink wrapped. It still makes noise, so it's there. I will eat this cereal. live on this show, and then you can watch the paramedics come and revive me. Only when we get 1,000 people. So
That's
you want to
right.
see me eat this? 1,000 people.
That's right. Because I was digging through my cereal, collectible cereal as you do, and I found your Kingdom of the Crystal Skull cereal that you sent me back in 2008, and
Yes.
it is sadly it's just one giant piece of cereal now.
Oh, you didn't open it?
I haven't opened it yet. No.
Oh God.
So
Well,
I
that
think
had
because
little
yours,
marshmallows in it.
I
That's
think
like
so.
little skull marshmallows. I think what
Yeah.
happened is they must have molded. Yeah,
Well, I
you
think
should have ate
because
them.
yours is sealed in plastic, it's sort of, no air can get in. So I think it's probably going to be minty fresh. So I think
It'll be minty something.
I think you'll be okay if you eat that. But we still need a few more subscribers. So
You do need a couple more, and it will happen. I got to ask real quick. I noticed since last week I moved my settings, so I've changed a little bit around. But I've noticed you have a brand new Superman
I do.
statue. Is that a statue or is that one of those hot toys?
No, it's a Nika. So he's
NECA?
yeah.
NECA? I say NECA. What do you
Oh
say?
yeah, I say Nika, but
Ooh,
let's
he's
call the
got
whole
like
thing off.
he's got crazy eyes going on
He
there.
does. He's
No, it's a good Christopher Reeve likeness.
I think it's fantastic. Well,
Yeah.
there's not a lot of Christopher Reeve.
Well, no, wait, is that movable or is he stuck like that?
No, you can, he's got replacement
the arms
hands,
on
and no, you can. I've just got him that way, but you can move
okay.
him. Yeah, he's
No,
pretty
that's
cool.
a typical. That's your hero pose.
Yes, so he's fantastic. And I just ordered on eBay.
Is that a new item though? Or has that been around for?
It's just new. Oh, it's probably about 5 or 6 years old.
Oh, I've never seen it before. That's why.
I just thought I'd move it into the studios here.
But you were saying you just ordered what?
I just ordered a full set of the Superman 2 trading cards, which should arrive next week, which I never got.
Oh, from back in '81?
Yep. So,
oh, okay. I was going to say they reissued. Wait a minute, we're coming up on the 40th anniversary of that next year. 1981. It was the same summer as Raiders Lost Ark.
Well, technically, it's the 40th anniversary here in Australia because it was released in 1980 here.
What?
Yep.
Superman 2 was released earlier than here in the States?
What
the hell, man? He's our hero, buddy. He's American way. I didn't know that.
He's the world's hero, Superman. So
when did that happen? Was it a Christmas release?
It would have been Christmas. So it was
really?
Yep.
See, we didn't get it till I think May or June. I'm gonna say probably June, maybe.
Yep. I'm 99%.
Really? You had that movie?
Sure.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
You had Superman 5 or 6 months before we did?
Yeah.
Wow, that's usually it's the other way around.
Because if I move to here, just hold on a second.
Here
we go. I've got one set of Superman 2 cards.
Topps trading cards. Yeah.
And if I look on them, it's going to be a bit hard to read, but it says, come on, focus.
Well, the copyright.
There we go, 1980.
Okay. But I don't know. Should we Google that? I'm going to take your word for it, but I could just simply look it up. I thought
what I'll do? I'll put up a graphic. I'll try and find a graphic.
Well, afterwards,
that's right.
We'll do it. I'm betting you're wrong.
Okay.
Why? Do you remember seeing it in Christmas of 80?
I remember seeing it in 1980. I remember Superman 78.
Yes.
Superman 2, 1980.
It could be a Mandela effect.
It could be.
Because if you remember the end of Superman, it says Superman will return, I think it said next summer or next year. And it didn't come back for a couple years.
Yeah. Well, it did.
If you look at the original Superman, it says Superman's coming back or something like that. Or will return. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, I was going to say, can you remember your first collectible? What the first thing you sort of really loved as a kid?
Oh, yeah. In fact, I have it. I have it right here.
No, I was just going to say, is that one of the first favorite collectibles of yours?
Yeah, when we said off camera, bring some stuff that you treasure, I went all the way back. So I have stuff here from the 70s that I liked as a kid.
Yes.
And that's it. Do you want me to go first?
I'm just having a message. I've just got a message from Joe Stuber popping up here.
Oh, Joe Stuber from the IndieCast and Comic Book Central, Joe Stuber?
That's right. Absolutely. He's messaging away. That's good to know.
Oh, we're getting feedback. This is kind of interactive. This is cool.
It is.
How does he know that we're on right now?
I don't know. I'm sure he's has
I thought the restraining order said that he wasn't allowed to come near you anymore. That's
all right. Oh, watch out, Mitch.
I knocked myself over.
That's right.
This is not one of my collectibles, though it is me.
It is. Look.
Yeah. Anyway. All right, I'm going to start before we go off too much on a tangent.
Sure.
Which, if you saw the first episode, you realize that's what we do. That's what
it was.
My first collectible.
Yep.
Is actually, well, I don't know if you can call it I think it's collectible. I was a kid. I love comic books. I still do. I run a comic book convention called Terrificon every August here in Connecticut at Mohegan Sun Casino Resorts. But as a kid, I had a Mickey Mouse record player. I do not have it anymore. And it had Mickey Mouse and his arm was the needle and all that. But this was my favorite album. And if you can see it, it's called The Amazing Spider-Man. It's a rock comic.
A rock comic?
That is, there goes the vinyl.
Oh, no.
It was a collectible. But what it is, if you can see that.
Oh, yeah.
It's artwork, and you could read along. Right?
Yes.
And it's little stories. And it's a two-sided album, double-sided. And it tells the story of Spider-Man meeting Doctor Strange, and then a lot of his villains, the Green Goblin, the Vulture, the Lizard, and the Kingpin is the bad guy.
Yes.
And kidnaps Mary Jane, kidnaps Aunt May, Peter Parker's mom, or aunt. I'm stage fright, Ed. And it was on Buddha Records. I don't think they exist anymore, Buddha Records. I think they were also the same company that Kiss made, the same label. But anyway, I would listen to this again and again and again as a kid, and it was fantastic. And the artwork was done by John Romita.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you can see that. It's
yes.
John Romita. I got to meet him. Where is it? Somewhere there.
Other side. Anyway, yeah, that's it.
I'm freaking out, Ed. John Romita, right there. He signed it. Yeah. I finally got to meet him. He was my favorite artist of all time. When I was a kid, I used to want to draw and be John Romita, Sr. And I would draw constantly, Spider-Man, Fantastic Four. And my mom wrote to Stan Lee in the early 70s and said, my son can't stop drawing comic books. That's all he talks about. He wants to be a comic book artist. And my first job, I went to school. I graduated. I had a degree in design and graphics. I got a job as an art director. And the owner of the company said, you like comic books? I go, yeah. He goes, make the catalog look like a comic book. And of course, it's your first job. You say, yes, sir, I could do that. I had no idea how to do it. So I frantically called Marvel Comics. This is before the internet. This is 1989. Yep. And I told them my situation. I said, look, I just got a job. I told the guy I know how to do this. I don't know what to do. I'm afraid, blah, 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 blah. The woman that answered the phone, very nice lady. She was in the production department. She says, I'll put you on with John. And I didn't know John who? John Smith? Yep. So next thing you know, it says John Romita. And I'm like, oh my God, my lifetime hero, my ultimate favorite artist. And he said, blah, blah, blah. And I told him the story. He said, okay, get a pen and paper. I'm going to tell you what you got to do. So for 45 minutes or so, he walked me through step by step how to draw it, how to color it, how to ink it, how to scan it, how to get a printer, everything. And I have that catalog. I'll send you a picture of it.
Yep.
And that was my first job, and I kept the job, and I got promoted, and I got eventually got a big raise, and on and on and on. But I didn't get to meet John Romita and his wife. I always wanted to. Finally, last summer, I got to go to Long Island with a friend of mine, and I met them. We went to their house, and I brought that album, and I brought something else I'll show you. I told them that story. His wife, Virginia, was the woman that answered the phone and let me talk to her husband, John Romita. And I don't know if they remembered the story, but they might have remembered the crazy kid who called up like frantic. But that's why that means so much to me, because I had it as a little boy and eventually met the guy who helped me get my job and my career, and everything that I have kind of goes back to that. So that is my favorite collectible right there. And you know what's another thing is the voice of Spider-Man and Peter Parker was Rene Auberjonois, who folks might know as Odo from Deep Space Nine, and also he was on the comedy show Benson for years.
Yes.
He guest at Terrificon 2016. I didn't know that he was Spider-Man until I think it was Joe Stuber, who just got a text from him. He was on there. Somebody told me, he was the voice of Spider-Man. So I sat down at lunch with him at the Terrificon, and I said, "Oh my God, you were Spider-Man." He goes, "I did it as a day player. I went to the studio, I read his script, and I had no idea." So that's another thing. Rene Auberjonois
Yes.
was Spider-Man. I don't know if people know that. So that's mine. What's your favorite collectible so far, Ed?
Well, so far I've got it. Okay, so I'll bring this one out because this means a bit to me, which is my
Oh boy.
my Tall Toys version of the Land Speeder.
Tall Toys is the European Kenner?
That's the Australian company. So
Okay.
so there's Kenner in the United States, there's Tall Toys in Australia, and there is in the UK Palatoy, who were the distributors. And I just loved
The graphics.
the artwork, and so I got this for my 8th birthday.
Okay.
And I kept the box, which is a rarity for kids back in those
Oh, that's
days.
the original box?
That's the original box. Yep. So
wow, you kept it in good shape for an 8-year-old kid. You didn't rip it apart, huh?
It's pretty good. I've got some I've got over. I'll show you. Hang on a second.
Wait, do you have the toy that was in it, or you just skipped the box?
The toy's in there. The toy's in there.
Okay.
I mean, it's like with these. I've got my.
Oh, I used to save the card backs. Yeah.
Yep.
I had those. You see, I cut out the little proof of purchase seals because you used to be able to mail those in.
Yes.
And you would get like Boba Fett or Admiral Akbar or the Emperor. They would send you a preview figure. You didn't cut yours up, huh?
I did for some of them. I've got like those are all Return of the Jedi's ones.
Oh wow, look at you.
I've only got one. I've only got one Star Wars
Death Star droid. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a
I threw mine out. But did you ever get the Death Star or Death Squad Commander? He's the only one as a kid I never could find.
I do have him. Yes.
But you got it back in the day?
Yes, and I buried him in my backyard, and I had to get another one years later because I could never.
Oh, you
find
never
him
found
again.
that one?
Yep, and sadly we sold my parents' house last year. So
I realize it's going to be an archaeological dig one day.
I know it's going to be like
find that.
Swatch.
Yeah, it'll be like, oh my God, they must have worshipped this guy.
Yes.
See, I was asking you because I remember it called the Death Squad Commander. Then someone told me that was not the name.
He was when he first came out, the Death Squad. In fact, let's have a look here. If we look,
they said that was too harsh for a kid's toy.
Now, I don't know how good how good's this focus. There we go. Can you see?
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah.
Death Squad Commander.
Oh yeah. So he was called that, but I think they retitled him the Death Star Commander, didn't they?
They did, yes.
So, that's a weird one.
But that's not one of my, actually, hang on, I'll show you here as well, because I had the that's from the 12-inch.
Oh, you have those too?
I've got yes, I've been getting a collection of those, but I used
to. Although you didn't buy them back in the 70s or 80s.
Oh, I had, my sister got me Luke Skywalker for my 8th, for Christmas. Must be 1978, or maybe no.
Wait, now did he have a lightsaber in his arm like the little figure, or was it separate?
Hold on.
Oh, you're gonna get it. Okay.
He's right here.
Oh, there he is. He looks like a Ken doll.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. It's detached. It's not attached to him.
Yeah. So it's there you go.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah.
So
it doesn't light up or anything, does it?
No, I'm just missing his grappling hook, but which I had, which I played.
That's your original one?
Yeah, that's my original one.
So. Oh wow, that's in pretty good. Did you play with these toys?
Yeah, I did. But I admired them as well. You know, had them.
All right. I was gonna say those are pretty. I mean, I have my Star Wars figures here somewhere, but they're pretty beat to hell. The original ones, you know.
Sorry, that's not a.
I had a Chewbacca, but my dog chewed it up. I mean, you can see the teeth marks on it. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. And my Stormtrooper, the leg broke off like a wishbone, and I glued it so one would never move. He was kind of like, kind of peg leggy.
But anyway, that's my first. That's sort of I got Luke.
No, go back to the land speeder. Is it
Yeah.
in that box still?
Yeah, it's in here.
Oh, all right. I was gonna say you just showed the box. I go. I'm not gonna say you're lying, but I want to see it, Ed. Oh, look at you. And then did you pop the trunk? Because I remember that was a cool thing.
It should pop, but I won't.
You know, okay. Well, don't break it.
No, I won't.
There it goes. Just like my record album. And the wheels on mine too. I know that when you would detract it, you pull it back.
That's right. You could.
They kind of hung down a little bit.
So you can bring them up like that, and then.
Yep. It was a pretty cool toy. I don't know how much it went for back in the day, but maybe $10 or so.
It could have been. I don't think mine's got a price on it, but yeah, they were pretty cool.
They reissued that one, didn't they?
Yeah, when was it? And
I remember sending you that. Didn't I get you like the big modern version of that? I think I mailed that.
Oh, maybe you did. I got the I got the Black Series one.
That's the one you called me a couple years ago. It was at Target, and it was marked down to like $20 or something. You were like, "Oh, I really want that," and I was like, "All right," because if people don't know, you're in Australia and I'm over here in Connecticut, in the U.S. Things are a lot cheaper here than they are over there because it's shipping or taxes. I don't know what the deal is. Or maybe they just don't get them there.
Well, we a lot of those they were I think about like $100 in Australia. They were really quite expensive. So
the Black Series ones,
the vehicles ones, yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, quite expensive. So that's why I always loved the land speeder. And when was it 96? When did they release the the He-Man versions?
The 95,
95. So I bought the land speeder for that one, which was pretty much a direct copy.
It was the same mold. Yeah.
In fact, all those ones were. That's why I sort of nostalgia. It's sort of.
Did you have all the ships too? Did you have the Falcon and that?
I've got the Falcon, and you mean
back in the day when you were little?
I'll bring them out another time because they're all seriously up there. But I've got my boxed X-wing, my boxed TIE fighter. I've got my boxed Y-wing fighter. In fact, I found a picture here. Where was it? This is me for my birthday, and I don't know if you can see. I'll try and.
Oh yeah, there's the box. Yeah, there it is.
There's the Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah.
Hang on, it's a bit hard to.
No, I can see it. Well, yeah, I see him on his throne right there. He's right there. Yep.
Yeah, that's it. So. I actually found pictures of me. Actually, I'll show them a bit later when for my next collectible. Anyway, that means a lot to me. That land speeder. I just loved it. What's your next one?
The next one is along the same lines because we are Star Wars, and if people don't know, we're on the IndieCast, which is the world's. I think we're still I don't know if we're the only Indiana Jones podcast.
We're not the only one.
Longest.
That's true.
We're the longest one since November 2007. Right?
In fact, we're one of the I suppose the longest running podcasts.
Yeah, I've talked to somebody. They're like, "Oh my God, you guys are like the Gemini Mercury 7 people." I'm like, "What?" Because they go podcasting started around 2005-ish.
Yep.
And you guys were there in 2007, and that's 13 years ago. So it goes on a lot. But anyway, it's the same company here. It's Kenner, and this is Indiana Jones.
Yes.
Raiders of the Lost Ark. I don't know if you can see that. There's a glare. But there it is. And Kenner was the company that made the Star Wars toys, but they also made the Indiana Jones toys. And there's all the figures. And now I'm going to lie to you. I'm going to tell you the truth. It was opened because here's the thing. My mom called me, and I was in high school because Raiders came out in 1981, like Superman 2. And these toys, I believe they came out in 82. Stop it. And it didn't do well. Sadly, the Indiana Jones toys never took off like the Star Wars toys.
Yep.
And there was a store here in the U.S., in Connecticut anyway, called Odd Lot, which was like closeouts, secondhand. Like when major department stores didn't want these, they had to get rid of the merchandise. So these smaller stores would buy them. And they had like a barrel. And my mom called up, and she was on a payphone. There was no cell phones. And she goes, "Hey, I know you like that Raiders of the Lost Ark. All those Indiana Jones toys are here for $1 each. Would you like any of them?" And I'm like, "Oh, come on. I'm in high school. I'm looking for girls. I don't really need toys, but get Indiana Jones if they have it. So if she picked up this one, and she goes, "You sure you don't want the rest?" They have the Nazis, they have Belloc, they have Marion Ravenwood, Karen Allen, who's my heartthrob. No, just Indy. So I had opened them years ago carefully. I just peeled it back, and he used to be in my art bin at college. I used to have my pens and my markers and my paintbrushes, and I used to have Indiana Jones because his arm would flip up with a gun, and then he could turn it the other way. And he has like a little string that like his whip. So that's that. But I think they had the same thing. Like if you sent in the proof of purchase, you got a Belloc in his ceremonial garb when he's opening the Ark of the Covenant at the end. But this is mine. I did get the rest of them, though. I'm looking at them on the shelf there. I have, Tote, the guy with the Nazi with his hand burned, Sala, Indiana Jones's Nazi outfit. But I do not have a carded Marion Ravenwood because if you don't know, that one on the card, I think the cheapest one I've ever seen is about $800.
Yep.
So that $1 toy is now 800 times more expensive. But anyway, that's mine because
that's interesting because my
don't
my
tell me you have it.
My next collectible.
Oh no, the same thing,
but different. So
how?
Okay, firstly, you can see mine's got the Belloc, but it says
there's the mail away.
But it says offer not available in Australia.
Oh, nice.
And then, but if you turn it around, mine's a bit different to yours.
Oh yeah, see, mine's got it up there.
So I've only got the 4 exciting, so mine's an earlier version.
Well, that's weird though, because there's the Belloc in the ceremonial garb on mine. See, he's number 9.
Yep.
But he's not a mail away at that point.
So
that's weird. Now, what year's yours?
Mine's 82.
So is mine.
Yep.
But I didn't know that. See, some Indiana Jones fans we didn't know that stuff.
So my story is sort of a bit similar to yours. In my mum was visiting her mum my grandmother in Adelaide, and she phoned up saying, "Oh, they've got these Indiana Jones figures." So I said, "Oh, I'll get a set if I could," because they were cheap. So she got me Marion, Indy, only the 4 because we only had the 4 available here in Australia. So at that point,
so wait, did you open them?
Yes, they're on my shelf there. I've lost Marion's the monkey, unfortunately.
Oh, she came with the monkey, yeah.
But I've got her. She came with a little stand and everything like that.
But that one you kept closed, or you opened it?
Opened, yeah.
Okay.
And sorry, that's just my cat Lois here.
This is madness.
Oh, there goes 3PO.
Lois.
Oh no!
Oh my! Basically, then what happened is she went back a couple of months later, and she phoned up saying, "Oh, they've still got some in stock." So
they couldn't get rid of these things.
I know. So I said, "Look, could you?" Because Adelaide's like an 8-hour drive away. It's quite a distance. I said, "Oh, well, bring me back an Indy." So, and that's the.
That's that one. Huh?
That's that one which I've kept. Mint on.
Now the other one. Did the other one have the Belloc mail away? You don't remember?
I reckon it would have been the same one because I did keep the cards of each of those, the backing cards. So yeah.
See, I'm looking. I don't have Belloc on a card. I only have him because he came with the.
I don't think he ever did come on a card.
No, but he was on the back of this. But I have him. But you had to get the Ark of the Covenant set, which came with the Ark and like the little stand or something. Anyway,
those things still go for a lot of money. They're a bit hard to.
Oh really?
Hard to find. Yeah. Oh well, they at least here in Australia, they're
No, Indiana Jones is weird that way. They didn't make a lot of stuff, but the few things they did do. They're quite expensive.
But that's
I'm looking at my Australian Indiana Jones movie poster right there. I have from Australia.
From Temple of Doom?
Yep. Yeah.
I've got that one too. It's kind of nice, isn't it?
No, you don't. It says the hero is back.
Yeah. It's sort of greeny and red and all the things are around him.
No, mine's just a long
by
11 by 20.
By litho, the day bill. Anyway, I'm sure.
Anyway, we digress. Anyway, but I'll bring that next time.
Okay. You grab your next one. I'm going to fix 3PO up. Hold on.
Oh, all right. Oh, actually, you know what? I lied.
That's okay. What did you lie about?
No, I got more than 3 too. I didn't realize I brought more to class than 3.
That's
Well,
okay.
this one again, people are gonna be, what a bunch of nerds. But no, it's another toy.
Yeah.
Now this one isn't my original one. This is a Mego action figure, and Mego was a bunch of 8-inch action figures. They're kind of like the poor man's GI Joe. GI Joe was about 11 or 12 inches, and these are 8-inch ones.
Yep.
And they were made by a company out in Long Island, and they had the world's greatest superheroes. That's the line. And when I was a kid, they initially started with Superman, Batman, Robin. I think they might have had Wonder Woman, but eventually they introduced the Marvel characters. And I have Spider-Man. I have a Captain America over there as well. But this one isn't mine. I bought this years ago at my own show from one of my vendors. But the thing of it is, see, they didn't put the spider webs on Spider-Man's mask.
Ah.
So as a kid, that drove me nuts because it wasn't accurate. So I remember taking a ballpoint pen and drawing it in because they are there. They're like indented, but they didn't have it. So it didn't match the costume. So I remember drawing it in with a pen. And the problem with Mego figures is there's an elastic band. They have like 5 points of articulation, like the arms and the waist and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a rubber band inside. And what happened is it would just corrode and snap. And once it snaps, everything falls apart. The arms, the legs, it's just that's it. And they made a whole line of these things. They had Star Trek. They had Planet of the Apes. Oh, Happy Days.
Yes.
Any popular television show was that. So I did get that one. And I did have them all on the back. There's some there. The Falcon, Conan the Barbarian. They made Kiss as well. But this is a really nice one here. They came in 2 types of boxes. There was this one, which is a peg hook. And then there was just smaller boxes.
That's right.
So did they have these in Australia?
They did. They had. I'm trying to remember. I only got some recently. I had and sold a mint Captain Kirk.
Really?
From about 1974.
Yeah, they had light blue phasers and communicators.
And I picked up another
one.
one.
Lose those in a second.
Oh my gosh, yes. And I picked up another one of those at a market, which for a couple of dollars actually, which was pretty good.
With the pieces?
Yep.
Wow.
It's faded, but complete. Yeah. I've got a Riddler from maybe 1975, I think.
Yeah.
And I went to get, they had, I remember seeing at a local like antiques market, they had the Mego Spider-Man that you've got there, not on the card, but loose. It was in great condition for about $30. And I was going, and I actually thought, I said to Kelly, I should get that for Mitch. Being
good, because I haven't opened this in years.
Yep. And I went back to get it and it had gone. So the thing
Even
is, you got to buy it.
Mad about that.
I know. I'm sorry. You've got to, buy it when you.
Honestly, in this world, because I run conventions, if you see something and you have the money and you really want it, you really should pick it up, because it's not like you can go back or order it at this department store, or you have to go to eBay, which is kind of, I hate going to eBay. No matter what, I always have that feeling that the guy's jacking the price up like his buddies at the last minute, because I lose so many bids. I lost one today for a book I wanted, and I lost it within the last 30 seconds. And I'm like, it's called sniping. They have a price in there. Like 8 seconds ago, you're like the high bidder. And then at 2 seconds left, somebody else will beat you by literally a penny or a quarter. Or like,
Well, actually, I had, I don't have it here. Actually, hang on a second. I've got here. So I've got these here. I was on eBay. I've got my cap.
Oh, the mini rigs.
Yeah. And my
still in the box.
Yeah, still in the box. They had for sale one of the skiff of it. The what is it? The desert. They had the.
I have the little at one. There was a little at walker. I have it over there.
That one for sale on eBay.
Mint, I never saw that.
Mint in the box. So it had never.
How much was that?
Well, it had never been opened. I put in a original. It was like, a 1 cent bid. So I put in whatever, 30, 40. Usually they go for $120,
really?
$30. This one, went for $570.
No, see, that's
And
too.
I thought that's too much.
No, I can't sleep with myself. I sleep
Really?
with myself all the time. Well, I could live with myself or go to bed on a bed of money with something like that. I don't have that type of money. Even if I did, I'd always have that reaction like, "What are you, crazy? That thing costs $10. Why would you spend that?"
That was way, I mean, I think it was like someone reached back through time to 1983 to get it.
Well, that's what, I don't know about you, but I remember being in the toy stores. I'm sure everybody has the same memory with the shelves. I mean, it's not like now where you go to Target or Walmart, they have an aisle or two, but I'm talking, we used to have a store called Child World, and then eventually it was Toys R Us. But they would have end caps and aisles of Star Wars toys. It were just floor to ceiling with the B Wing, the Y Wing, the X Wing, the whole alphabet and it was amazing being a fan of Star Wars. I remember the die-cast metal. Remember those, the little micro machines? A
Yes.
whole end cap wall full of the Millennium Falcon and all that stuff. But you think you're as a kid, you don't have the money, or you think it's going to be there forever, and then of course it's not. And now we're buying it for $500.
I've three memories about Star Wars collectibles. One, there was I think in America you guys call them mom and pop, like department stores.
Yeah, little stores.
Yeah, we had a department store called Love's in Highton, just near where we live, upstairs, haberdashery, everything like that. My mum would go with me shopping, and she'd just go, "You can go to the toys."
Yeah.
And I would stare, and they had a whole aisle of all those mint, all these, like, in a row.
Stacked up,
and I would just stare at them.
The dog drooling.
Oh my gosh, yes. And I thought that was enough. I didn't even have to buy them.
Here's the worst. How far away was that store from where you lived?
Oh, it's probably about 2-minute drive now. So
okay. When I was a kid, at the bottom of our hill, there was a toy store, just like you said, like a mom and pop, because not everything was changed in department stores. It was called Herbert's Toy Store. In the summer, they would sell swimming pools. So they'd have above ground pools and all that stuff and sprinklers. Inside, they had model kits, like car models and Star Trek models and all that. And that's where they would have the Mego toys.
Yes.
But I would get out of school and I'd have to walk by the toy store, and I would always just go in to see what the new stuff was. And the guy knew me by name. His license plate was Toy Man, and he would know my mom. And my mom was like, "Well, if you get good grades or you're really good, you can get a toy." And that was always the thing. And I was always like, "Oh, I want to be in a G.I. Joe." So I would get G.I. Joe and the Secret of the Mummy's Tomb. I had the big yellow chopper, the helicopter, and all that stuff. And then Star Wars started coming out. And I remember all the figures showing up, and my grandmother would go with me. And I'm like, I want the Stormtrooper. And they were $1.97. They were really inexpensive. But all those days, I just remember that place. And I always think it's still there, the building, but it's not a toy store. It's long turned into something else. But I'm always like, there's a box somewhere in a back room, like storage, that they forgot to open up. And there's mint and card Star Wars toys that no one's seen for 40 years. That's my dream, that you're going to find it, but it doesn't happen.
Wouldn't that be amazing? Well, I do remember also we had at Corio Village, there was Tate's Toy Kingdom or Tate's Toys. And I remember they had one of those like metal mesh bins, that they, that was filled with the die cast X-Wing land speeder and
the micro machines,
a TIE fighter, the die cast one from 1979. And then next to it, they had a bin filled with Han's laser pistol and the 3-position laser rifle.
Yeah, and it makes a noise. I fixed it. I bought it for $1 at a tag sale, and it was corroded the battery, so I cleaned all the connections, and you'd press the button, it wouldn't sound right, so I took it all apart, and all it was like a little tiny fan that would go when you press the trigger. Yeah, and I polished it and fixed the whole thing, and it was black colored. They didn't have an orange tip to it, so it really looked like a real gun from a distance, which is not cool.
It's pretty cool. Sadly with my original Star Wars one, I cut off the telescope, so it looked a little bit more like Luke's from Empire Strikes Back. But I
didn't have that. Yeah.
But I still have the Return of the Jedi one, and then I have great memories of my mum taking me to Children's Palace. I don't know. Do you have Children's Palace in?
No, I think that was Child World where we were. It was a toy store.
And they had. I remember it was an amazing toy shop. When toy shops were really toy shops,
yeah.
which were fantastic. They had, I do remember a bunch of, it might've been Mego, but they had like was it Fantastic Monsters or something like that? So all the, like the
Famous
Universal
Film.
Monsters.
Yeah, Universal.
Yeah.
They had model kits.
Oh, and they had model. I had a
Yeah,
$6
they had
million man
kits and,
model.
like,
Oh, anyway,
yeah, Frankenstein had a glow in the dark head, and
yes,
yeah.
and the Mummy and all those. But they had
Aurora was the company. Aurora Models. That was it.
And they also brought out the action figures. So it might have been Mego who brought out those action figures as well. But I got to see Darth Vader. He made an appearance. This was nice.
Oh, okay.
And
like
I got
Darth Vader.
Yeah, and I got a signed autographed picture of
from Darth
Vader. And I remember buying. Oh, what did we? Oh, we bought quite a few things there. But they were great days.
Oh yeah, no. I remember when my boy Spencer was little. One of the Target was having a grand opening. They had just come to Connecticut. It was Meet Spider-Man.
Yes.
And I have that photo of him hugging Spider-Man, and he was like besides himself because it was like, oh my God, he met Spider-Man. I was like, oh, you did meet Spider-Man, and it's just a picture of him, and he's just like, so excited to see him.
It's like when we go to Disneyland and we're still excited.
Oh yeah,
to see those characters.
I just before all this craziness started in January, I went to the new Star Wars land, and stormtroopers are walking by in Chewbacca, and I'm running up to him like, can I get a picture here? I'm 53 years old, but I'm like, oh. Yeah, my wife will tell you that when I met Peter Mayhew and Kenny Baker and Warwick Davis, the first time I ever went to a convention, they were all there. She'll tell you how embarrassed she was because I wasn't married yet, but I was shaking. Like I'd go and like Chewbacca, and I had like this little quiver because in my mind he's Chewbacca. I know he's an actor, and I'm not that stupid, but it was still something because like that's Chewie and that's Wicket, and it was like couldn't help but shake when you met
I know
him.
how you feel.
I know. Okay, that's why we're on this show.
Yeah, that's all right. Was it up to? Was it?
Well, I did my 3, but I had an extra one. Do you have an extra one, or are we almost?
This is my 3rd then.
Okay, go ahead.
So, this is my.
Oh, look at that!
So
that's the poster you have behind you.
It is now these. So these are the Australian versions of the Star Wars.
Coca-Cola glasses.
Yep.
Yeah.
So basically, what would happen? You'd go.
Did you have Burger King down there?
No. These were, if you have a look here,
Pizza Hut.
Yep.
Oh, that's weird. Yeah.
And they don't have the writing on the back. And the
mine
has a little bit
stories.
Different.
Yeah.
So, I have such fond memories of getting my posters, which are behind me. There's a set.
So so you got the posters and the glass when you would go to the restaurant?
No, you get the posters at the movies. So you buy a Coke and you'd get a poster with it, and you'd go to Pizza Hut and you'd get the glass. So it took me. I only maybe 2 years ago. I had all 3. So I was looking.
4.
Yep. It took me 40 something years to get the last one, which was C-3PO, the glass.
Yeah.
And I paid way too much. I paid a couple of $100 for.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Why did you call me? I can get them. Those are not that hard to get around here.
They're different. They're different.
Yeah. For the Australian ones. Yeah.
So, I've got a complete mint set of these, which I love.
Han and Chewie were on a greenish one.
Yeah.
Because I remember my grandmother had it at her house because she really loved Harrison Ford. Orange is 3PO and R2. The bluish one there is Luke, and then Vader's on the other one, right? With Obi-Wan?
Yes. He's
it's like a brownish red, if I remember.
Purpley. He's purple.
Purpley, yeah. I haven't seen it in a long time.
I'll put up a picture of all the
It's here in this house somewhere.
So but these are quite hard to get. And I've actually got 2.5.
Now was there lead paint on those? That was the big problem here. They had lead paint. And they pulled them off the market, so you couldn't get them anymore.
Kids don't know.
Yeah, seriously, that was
the big thing. Do you want me to lick it? I don't know. I have no idea.
I don't know why kids were. Maybe when we need 2,000 viewers, you could start licking the lead paint.
That's right. Anyway, what I do in the privacy of my own home is none of anyone's business. So
that why that cat anyway.
All right. What's your bonus?
I was torn again. They're not exciting. It's not always toys, But this here's a book, and again, I had it as a kid, and it was the origins of Marvel Comics. And again, this is pre-internet. So what this was all the origin issues, the first appearances, and then a later story of the original Marvel characters. And on the cover, you have, Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, Namor, the Submariner, the Hulk, Fantastic Four Thing, and Thor. You know what? You don't have Captain America on this, and just realized. Now, I got this as a Christmas present as a kid. There was a hardback and a softback edition. I read this thing cover to cover. I had 2 copies of it. One I read so much the pages fell out, but this one I held on to. So I was fortunate enough to meet Stan Lee in the 90s when it was a publicly traded company in New York. And I was on my way to DC Comics for a job interview. And I brought this book with me, and Stan Lee was there. And I went up to him and I said, Mr. Lee, huge fan. My mom wrote to you as a kid. Oh, yeah, I remember. I'm like, yeah. So I said, thanks a lot. So he signed it, right there, to Mitch, Stan Lee. This is when he actually would personalize stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had this forever, but the cover was painted by John Romita, who was the other artist on that album I talked to you. So I had this, and I went to go see Mr. Romita last year, and I brought this as well, and he signed it there.
Oh, yes.
So now I have it.
That's great.
Stan Lee wrote the stories inside, and then John Romita painted this picture, and he told me it was in a day. He told me the whole story behind it, and that's his hands there. And again, so I have it written. So that's another treasured collectible. I don't know what it's worth or if it's worth anything, but I'll never sell it. That's the whole thing about these things. These are like my
they mean something.
They mean something. Yeah, it's not something I bought it to flip it on eBay.
Yeah. Well, my last one, which Kelly was saying, is a little. I needed something a little bit more visually stimulating, but is I'll bring it out here. It's a bit hard to see.
Silly putty?
No, it is a piece of glow in the dark. I don't think it can really get much.
What is that?
It's a
glow in the dark what?
Glow in the dark kryptonite that was handed out at the end of Superman the movie. You'd go in to see the movie, and at the end, the ushers would give you a piece of this and say, you need to hold on to this kryptonite and keep away from Superman and protect it. And I've got 2 of these, and I've kept them since 1978.
And that's why Superman's never at your house.
That's right.
Does it glow?
It's hang on, I'll try it here. It does still. It's going to be a bit hard to.
I can see it a little bit. Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
It does glow still after all these years. It's probably all that lead paint that's in here. But anyway, it still tastes good.
They sold
a favorite of mine.
They sold another one that my son had in his room, and we used to tell him the same thing. You got to keep this here because if it gets out, Superman's going to sick. It was in a little box. It's probably here somewhere.
Yep.
I don't know. But it was a little box that says authentic piece of kryptonite, but it looked very green, and they used to sell it at the Warner Brothers stores, and it really glowed like crazy, and it had a little black box that had Superman on it like this, and it looked like stars and said a genuine piece of kryptonite. And I bought that and I gave it to my son years ago, but I was on a public access TV show, not with Danny Glover. Public access was like when cable started doing it. A lot of the local stations had to give time.
Yes.
I wrote a story called Mitch and Merle. Before I did Mitch and Ed, I did Mitch and Merle's Special Adventures. And there was an episode called Mitch and Merle and the Razor Stubble from Outer Space. And what happened is I shave to go on a job interview, but I didn't clean the sink out, so all the razor stubble was there. And a piece of meteorite falls through the roof, lands in the sink, and the radiation causes the razor stubble to grow. So the next morning when I go to wash my face, it attaches itself to me, and I turn into a giant hairball. Now, you could see that on YouTube. It is one of the worst produced science fiction epics ever, so I'll give you a link to it if you want to see it.
Please.
But I used the kryptonite rock because we had no budget, and instead of it crashing through space, computer graphics were very bad, so all I did was use PowerPoint, and I made like one slide after another slide after, and I just hit it really quick, so it kind of gave a motion to it, and I just threw the rock into the sink, and you can see me off camera. But I am proud of that because I have a Spielberg-esque moment
Mm.
where I was showing myself shaving, and I was filming this by myself. So I put the camera on a tripod, put a light behind me, and I just filmed my shadow on the wall shaving. But it was almost like a Norman Bates Psycho moment, you know, because you could see the razor coming off my face, and it was like, oh my God, that looks like he's being murdered. But
Please,
anyway,
we'll have a link. I
the
think we'll
link.
have a link below somewhere for that.
Mitch and Merle and the hairball from outer space.
Is that going to be part of the next phase of the MCU, perhaps?
They can't afford it. There's not Mickey doesn't have enough money. Here's, as we were talking, I got this guy here.
Yeah.
See, you squeeze it, his eyes come out.
Yeah, that's cool.
I don't know where we got this from. I mean, it's obviously a Toy Story toy, but it might have been a Burger King giveaway or something.
Yeah, he's good. There's a whole other thing. I mean, I figure what we'll do.
I think it was Burger King or McDonald's, maybe. They had a whole bunch of Toy Story toys. When my son was little, he was born in 98. His Toy Story came out in 99.
Mm-hmm.
I think there was like 40 little, what do you call them, Happy Meal toys.
Yeah.
Of this guy. We have that here. I'm a big fan of that dude. So I have a bunch of, I got some more back there. This one lights up. This was the mail away. You plug it in. And
yes.
It would blow up.
I think we'll probably revisit our favorite collectibles because
we could go on for hours.
My gosh, having had our discussion, I've thought of some. I mean, just looking around this room, I'm going, "Oh, I love." But there's
do you know what Pez is? Pez candy?
Oh, of course. I've got some Pez here somewhere from that you got me from.
Yeah, well, see, where I grew up in West Haven, Connecticut, in Orange, Connecticut, is the Pez factory where they make all the little guys. So as a kid, you always talked about it, but they opened it up for people, and I brought you plenty of collectibles from there. But here's one that came out last year. Maybe we'll just end.
Oh, yes.
This is the holidays. I know it's Easter, but here's the Grinch.
Yeah, we can see him. He's good.
Okay. Yeah, that's the Grinch. And I don't know. It's a little green Pez, but it came with some really nasty green flavored Pez, like apple cinnamon or something like that. But anyway, for another show we'll do that because yes, there's so much here. We can
absolutely. And I'm thinking that if you've got a favorite collectible, leave a comment. What's your favorite collectible? Maybe there's something that you saw here or that we talked about in our collection that you might want to find out a little bit more about. Then let us know, and we can certainly.
Is there any toy like a Lost Ark type of thing that you heard of but never saw? Other than the rocket firing Boba Fett, as we've all know that story.
There's one that took me years, which is sitting up on my electronic battle command, which I remember seeing and then never saw again, and I had to search. And
was that a Star Wars one?
Yeah, it's computerized. I'll bring that out for another.
Okay, another time. So, no, but okay, which one that got away? Which one that got like your fishing story, like one that you never got that to this day? It doesn't have to be Star Wars. It could be Superman. It could be Raiders. Indiana Jones.
You know what? There was a convention here in Australia in maybe the 90s or something like that, and I had the opportunity to buy it's a movie prop. It was a wooden Hawkman helmet from Flash Gordon. They were made out of wood, and
that's 40 years old.
I know. I know, and I didn't end up getting it. And I went back to get it, and it had sold.
The one that Brian Blessed wears?
It wasn't his. It was just a regular, background artist sort of.
So that's the one that got away.
Yep. I suppose that's. There's lots of them. There's things. Just the other day on eBay, I could have bought. It was a buy it now, and it was the Dewback, the Star Wars Dewback.
Yeah, that you put them inside.
Yeah, and I was just thinking, do I buy?
You never had one of those?
No. And
you have all the other stuff.
I know. So I should have bought it. I put in an offer. I put in an offer for $5 cheaper, and someone bought it. I should have done it. Punch me in the face with your Thanos. I know.
Yes, this is before. This is the comic book version of it.
Yes,
that's right there. There's a
lot. I know.
Yes.
How about you? Is there one that you've missed out on?
Well, see, I'm a little older than you. I was born in '66, so when Star Wars came out, I was 11ish. But when all the good toys started coming out, I was on my way to high school and I missed all that. I would say I did get the Millennium Falcon years later from the original Kenner line, but I remember seeing that as a kid, and I was like, "Oh, that looks cool." I don't know. Mego toys, maybe. I mean, a lot of the stuff I had, I just threw it away because we moved in 1978, and my dad's like, "We can't take everything," so you had to give a lot of stuff away, or we just threw it out. So there's a lot of toys that I had as a kid. I like board games. You know what? I just found out today. There's a MASH board game that I never had. I didn't know it existed. MASH is one because I'm a huge MASH fan. I think they made MASH action figures.
They did. Mego bought. In fact, I missed out on a bid of 6 Mego mint on the card figures. All I've got is a Dr. Winchester figure. I'll see if I can dig him out.
Nobody liked Winchester, but those what I. And I'm just thinking right now. You know what I wanted? The Sasquatch from the $6 Million Man. That's the one I want. I used to have the one was you rolled up his arm, Steve Austin, and you could look through his eye, and it had like that telescoping eye. But I never got the Sasquatch, which basically I think is Chewbacca. I think they just used the same mold, and they said it's Star Wars Chewbacca now. But they did make one, right? They made a Sasquatch.
They did. In fact, that's another of my favorite collectibles.
I never got that one.
Is the $6 Million Man line? I've got 2 of them. I had the crystal radio.
Wait, you have the Bigfoot?
Not the Bigfoot. I've got 2 6 Steve Austins. I've got the crystal radio that you could he wore as a backpack.
And you can put it on you can make a radio set out of it. Yeah. But did you have the one I'm talking about that his arm rolled up? And
I had an extra set of limbs and things like that. I didn't have You
didn't have the original one?
Oh no, I've got the original, but it didn't have the roll-up sleeve. It was just plastic.
That was it was his skin. It was like a rubbery skin that rolled up.
Mine didn't have that. So
really,
yeah. I'll have to dig him out again. He's sort of a bit in storage, but I will dig him out. Maybe we can revisit this.
I had the bionic capsules. It looked like a spaceship, which was his like headquarters or something.
Yeah. Do you still have that?
Yeah, I remember that. No, I don't have any of that stuff. I did have Maskatron, which was cool because it was 3 toys in one. It was like Oscar Goldman, Maskatron, and
Steve Austin.
It was Steve Austin. So you could cheat and you could say I have multiple toys. But you know what? Next time we come on, let's talk about weird toys that we didn't have, because now I'm thinking about a toy that scared me, but I own it, called JJ Arms, and it was about a detective that unfortunately he didn't have any hands any longer. But he had hooks, like prosthetic hooks, and it was a kid's toy.
Yep.
I don't know why, but I think it was based on a real detective that had hooks. But all you could really do with them is you could put a string and you'd put his hooks and he'd slide down it, and that's.
I've been trying to get Hugo, this ventriloquist. And Kelly,
the little guy with the masks and stuff.
Yes, and Kelly keeps telling me not to buy him because he's too creepy.
He's very evil looking. Yeah, it's demonic. It's possessed. Right up the street from me is the Warren Museum, where if you ever saw those Annabelle movies where they have the possessed doll.
Yes.
Those folks lived right up the road from me here in Connecticut, and the doll is in display. I drive by it every day, so it's coming. It's coming to get you, Ed.
All right. On that note, how are we doing for time? I think that's.
We're way over it. Forget it. We were trying to keep it on track, keeping it short, but that didn't have a snowball's chance in hell.
All
Come
right.
on,
well, anyway, thank you so much for watching our second episode about collectibles. Again, remember, if you do like your, if you've got a collectible you want to talk about or just want to highlight, put it in the comments. We'll be back, I don't know when, next week or whenever we're back for episode 3. We'll have another topic to talk about pop culture or movies or anything.
Whatever. Or anything you want. The weather. Right. We'll talk about the weather.
That's right, we will. So, signing off, this is Ed Dollister.
And this is Mitch Halleck.
And you've been watching Mitch and Ed's Excellent Adventure. See you next time.